Shalom and welcome back to the Light to the Nations channel once again. Today, I've been telling you in some videos that I really enjoyed to do this. I was missing a lot to be sharing with you the word, the word of YaHuWaH. And this is a special time of the year when we are in the season of the completion of the year. So it's even more important and more, I don't know, it feels good to be here sharing with you the word of YaHuWaH. I have been measuring during the day the movement of the sun, making some adjustment on the line of the north, just to identify the true north, setting the marks on the different positions of the sun. So far everything looks good, so I hope that I can be sharing with you the results of today later. But I want to take, as I told you in the previous video, I want to take the opportunity that I'm here in this place that is so calm and so beautiful that I want to share with you some thoughts regarding some important topics about the calendar. That I think is really important to remember, especially on this period of time, especially now that we are almost changing to a new year. So what I want to share with you in this moment is basically regarding the signs of the heaven, the signs of the Shemaim. I have been sharing the different videos about the calendar that YaHuWaH created a system, created a clock basically in the heaven, and this system is basically the Luminaries system. It is written in the word here in our source of truth that YaHuWaH created the Luminary system in order to define the days, define the years, and serve as a signs for us. And it's really, really nice. And I remember I shared this with you also in the past, that basically, as we have in our watches, that is working with 3 hands, also we have 3 hands in the Shemaim, in the heaven. We have the sun, the moon, and the stars. So it's somehow similar to what we used to work with our modern way to measure time. So I have heard some controversies about if we really need to watch the luminaries and observe the luminaries, or we just need to do a calculation over the calendar. So I want to share some thoughts on that. And as always, it's not going to be my thoughts. It's basically what I want to share with you, what is written here, what I read here in the word of YaHuWaH. And it's up to you and me to let the Ruach HaKodesh to let us know how to understand the word. I will share with you my view. I will share with you what I understand from what I'm reading. But it's up to you to let the Ruach HaKodesh to open your eyes and to give you the understanding to the word. But before doing that, I want to remind ourselves, and this is something so important that we need to remember always. We need to let the fruit of the Ruach to appear in our beings. We need to have the fruit of the patience, the humility. We need to have the fruit of love, because those are the manifestation of the Ruach HaKodesh through our lives. And that's the most important way to show to the world the light of YaHuWaH, through the fruits of the Ruach. So what I want to read before starting to share with you about the signs of the heavens, the luminary system, I want to repeat the words of YaHuWaH as they are written in the book of YaHuHanan. This is the book of John, chapter 17. And this is the verse 20th, starting on the verse 20th. So if you have your scripture with you, read along with me, because what YaHuWaH said and is written here is something we need to remind ourselves all the time. So it says the following: "And I do not pray for this alone, but also for those believing in me through their word, so that they all might be one, as you, Father, are in me, and I in you, so that they too might be one in us, so that the world might believe that you have sent me." And I want to stop here. What Yahushua is saying is so important, that he's saying that the world might believe that he was sent by YaHuWaH, the Father, by seeing the unity of his people. So something that is really important, because most of the time, because of our egos, we try to put our positions in front of other people's position. We are going against the very same purpose of the words of Yahushua. Is looking for unity on his body. A body, and it's written in the words of Shaul, that a hand or an eye doesn't want to fulfill their purpose. Basically, the entire body is not going to work. It's not going to function properly. So let me continue the verse 22. "And the esteem which you gave me, I have given them, so that they might be one as we are one. I in them, and you in me, so that they might be perfected into one, so that the world knows that you have sent me, and have loved them as you have loved me." Those are so beautiful words that sometimes we totally forget. We need to understand that the important things that Yahushua is saying, even before he was arrested, he was praying to the Abba for you and me, in order to become one. So our preliminary and our first priority and purpose is to become one with our brothers and sisters. We can have different opinions and many differences, but we always need to be humble, and we always need to pray to YaHuWaH in order for us to become one. And we need to look for unity more than divisions. So why I'm starting like that? Because I know that people most probably believe in something or understand the scripture in some way. I'm going to share what I understand and what I receive from the scripture. And as I said at the beginning, it's you that needs to pray to YaHuWaH and let the Ruach HaKodesh to guide you in all truth and in all righteousness. So let's start. So we are going to start in the main verse, and this is in the book of Bereshit. This is Genesis, chapter 1, verse 14. And most probably you already know this verse by heart, but it's important we read it again and start from the very beginning. Bereshit chapter 1 verse 14. And it says the following: "And Elohim said, let lights come to be in the expanse of the heavens, in the rakia of the Shamayim, to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and appointed times, and for days and years." Let me continue to the 15. "And let them be for lights in the expanse of the Shamayim, to give light on the earth. And it came to be so. And Elohim made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, that we know already that this is the sun, and the lesser light to rule the night and the stars, the moon and the stars." So basically we see in the verse 14 that YaHuWaH is saying that let them be for signs. Le otot is written in Hebrew. Signs, the original word is oto, and this is, if you want to look for it, is the strong number H226, the word otot. And there is the Greek word that is was translated from the word otot is the word semeion. and this is the strong number G492, and I think I'm missing one number here. Is the 4592, I think. Look for it, and I will put it in the description because I have something wrong here in the notes. But the word is semeion, and this is really important because we will see some passages in the Brit Hadashah that is important for our understanding about what is really an otot and what is really a science, how we need to understand the science. So in our base passage of the scripture, we see that the YaHuWaH defined the luminary system, the sun, the moon, and the stars, for science. So we need to understand what is a sign. And I will share with you different passages from the scripture in order for us to understand what is the meaning of otot, okay, and what is the purpose of an otot. So let's start with the first one, and this is an interesting one. Actually, it's in the same book, in the book of Bereshit, Genesis chapter 4, verse 15. Genesis chapter 4, verse 15. And it says the following, and YaHuWaH said to him, this is, if you read this in context, you are going to see the story of Cain and Hebel, okay? And here YaHuWaH is talking about Cain after he killed Hebel. So it says the following, and YaHuWaH said to him, well, if anyone kills Cain, vengeance is taken on him sevenfold. So there was a curse for everybody or anybody that wanted to kill Cain, okay? And it says the following, and YaHuWaH set up a sign for Cain, lest anyone finding him strikes him. And this is important because the word sign is the same word otot. And what YaHuWaH is saying is that after he put a curse for anybody that wanted to kill Cain, he set a sign in Cain. So the people that was going to see the sign understand that that was Cain, and there was a curse for anybody that wanted to kill him. So what's the entire purpose? And in the next passages that we will read is going to be much more clear that a sign, the purpose of a sign, is for anybody to see it. So if YaHuWaH defined the luminary system for a sign, is for the entire purpose for us to see it and to understand something. And what's the understanding we need to have regarding the signs? One of the purpose is what we are discussing now, is about the calendar, to understand the days and the years. And it's going to serve different purposes as we read in the entire prophecies in the scriptures, that it's going to be signs in the heavens. The sun is going to turn dark, and the moon is going to turn dark and blood as well. So the purpose of the signs is for us to see it. Okay, let's continue. And this is a wonderful one. It's in the same book, in Bereshit chapter 9. Bereshit, Genesis chapter 9, verse 12 to 17. And this is an amazing story, an amazing passage. Okay? It says the following. It's a story after the flood and YaHuWaH making a covenant with Noah, okay? And with entire humanity through Noah. It says, and Elohim said, this is the otot, this is the sign of the covenant, okay? YaHuWaH is setting up a sign for a covenant. And this is really important because we will see in every covenant, he's setting and establishing a sign, an otot. Is the otot for the covenant. So, this is the otot, the sign of the covenant, which I make between me and you, and every living being that is with you for all generations to come. Is an otot, an everlasting otot, an everlasting sign for all generations to come. Let's continue, verse 13. I shall set my rainbow in the cloud, and it shall be for the otot of the covenant. I shall set my rainbow in the cloud. A rainbow is something we can see in the cloud, and it shall be for the sign of the covenant between me and the earth. So it's not only a covenant between YaHuWaH and humankind, it's a covenant between YaHuWaH and the earth, his creation, and he's establishing here the otot for this covenant. And what's the otot? Is the rainbow in the clouds. Verse 14, and it shall be, when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the rainbow shall be seen in the cloud. That rainbow shall be seen in the cloud. So it's something, an otot, for anybody or everybody to see. And verse 15, and this is important. This is actually wonderful, what is written in the 15 and the 16. And it says the following, and I shall remember my covenant, which is between me and you, and every living being of all flesh. And you and every living being of all flesh, and never again let the waters become a flood to destroy all flesh. And let me read now the 16, because here is more clear what I wanted to highlight. And the rainbow shall be in the cloud, and I shall see it. Who is the I? Is YaHuWaH. YaHuWaH is saying, I will see the otot. And with what purpose? To remember the everlasting covenant between Elohim and every living being of all flesh that is on the earth. So YaHuWaH is saying that he is establishing the otot, a sign. And every time that he sees the signs, he will remember the covenant. So if YaHuWaH is establishing a sign for him to see it and remember, is straightforward and very clear to understand the purpose of a sign. If he's seeing it, the sign, it's also for us to see and remember. Okay? This is so wonderful. So let's go to the verse, to the chapter 17 in Bereshit. 17, 11, and 12. Bereshit, Genesis 17, 11, and 12, and it says the following, and you shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall become a sign of the covenant between me and you. Again, something to see, an otot between you, in this case Abraham, and YaHuWaH. The 12, it says, and a son of 8 days is circumcised by you, every male child in your generations, he who is born in your house, or bought with silver from any foreign who is not of your seed. So the point here, the most important one, that is basically, he's establishing in the verse 10 the covenant, YaHuWaH, between him and Abraham. And he's defining a sign, again, a sign for everybody, in this case, the person, to see through the circumcision. So let's go to Shemot. This is Exodus, Shemot chapter 3, verse 12. And I have some mosquitoes here that they want to listen the word as well, I think. So Shemot, Exodus chapter 3, verse 12, it says the following. Let me read the 11th verse. And Moshe said to Elohim, who am I that I should go to Pharaoh, and that I should bring the children of Israel, the Bnei Israel, out of Mizraim? The heart of Moshe full of doubts. So he's asking this to YaHuWaH, and YaHuWaH is answering in verse 12. It says, and he said, because I am with you, and this is to you the otot, the sign, that I have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Mizraim, you are to serve Elohim on this mountain. So basically, YaHuWaH again is defining a place, Har Sinai, Mount Sinai, as a sign for Moshe. So when he was going back with the people, with the children of Israel, to the place, he will remember at the moment he see the people in the mountain that YaHuWaH was the one sending him. It's important. This is the way that YaHuWaH works with us. establishing signs. And we see throughout the entire scripture that the children of Israel used to function in that way, establishing signs for covenants between people even. So that's the purpose of an otot. So let's continue to the to the chapter 4 in Shemot, Exodus. Chapter 4, verse 30 and 31. And Aharon spoke all the words which YaHuWaH had spoken to Moshe. Then he did the signs before the eyes of the people. He did the otot before the eyes of the people. You see, there is a direct connection between the signs and the eyes. And why it's important to see that connection? Because both things have been created by YaHuWaH. He has created us all. He created our eyes, and he also created the luminaries in the Shamayim. So both works together, a sign with a purpose for us to see the sign and understand something. I have been sharing with you this throughout all my videos, most probably. We need to remember that we need to put our trust in YaHuWaH and in His creation. And what I'm saying that we need to put the trust in the creation, what I'm trying to say is that by understanding how the creation works and understanding the nature and putting our emunah, our faith in YaHuWaH, that's the only way that we are going to understand the truth and we are going to understand His ways. We cannot put the trust in science and technologies. So, for example, if I'm saying that the full moon is coming on the 21st of March, because I went to time and dates and it's saying that this is going to happen in that day, or I'm going to internet and I'm saying that the equinox is going to happen on March 21st. I'm putting my trust in science on what people is saying, when YaHuWaH has defined signs and He has created our eyes to see those signs. That's the way of YaHuWaH. That's the way that we are going to understand His truth, because this is what we have been reading so far. Those are the purpose of a sign for us to see. And listen what is saying in the 31st, because the last phrase was, then he did the signs, Aharon did the signs, the otot, before the eyes of the people, and the people believed. And you know, we see many stories about the miracles that Yahushua did on earth, how the people through the signs and the miracles believed. Some people need to see something before believing. Other people just need to believe because the Ruach is doing something in their hearts. Okay? Let's look for another one, and this is so amazing as well. This is in the same book, Shemot, Exodus, chapter 12. Shemot, Exodus chapter 12, verse 13. And this is talking about Pesach, the first Pesach in Mizraim. And let's read this one because this is so important and so clear. And it says the following: and the blood shall be otot, a sign for you on the houses where you are. You remember they needed to put blood in the doorpost, okay? And YaHuWaH is saying, the blood shall be otot, a sign for you on the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, again, a sign that YaHuWaH will see. When I see the blood, I shall pesach you, I shall pass over you, and let the plague not come on you, to destroy you when I strike the land of Mizraim. And we discussed this, I think we shared this in one of the videos of the last days, about the sign that YaHuWaH, the seal of YaHuWaH that's going to put on His people on the end times, on their foreheads. So again, it's also a sign for people to see. You remember the sign of the Kohen HaGadol. It was saying, set apart to YaHuWaH, Kodesh LeYaHuWaH. was a sign in a plate of gold on his forehead. So again, it's something for the rest to see. Okay, and even this, the tzitzit. You remember, he established the tzitzit, that every time that we see the blue cord, we will remember that we need to keep his commandments. Again, this is a sign for us that to see. So everybody we see it, we will remember that we need to keep his commandments. Okay, so let's continue. The Shemot 31 and 13, and I think I will share two more passages because the word of YaHuWaH is so clear. It's easy to understand sometimes. Other times it's very difficult because we are not prepared to understand the truth yet. So Shemot 31:13, Exodus 31:13, and it says the following. And you, let me start from the 12. And YaHuWaH spoke to Moshe, saying, and you speak to the Bnei Israel, to the children of Israel, saying, my Shabbats you are to guard, by all means, for it is autot, a sign, between me and you throughout your generations, to know that I YaHuWaH, am setting you apart. So the Shabbat is also autot. Is something we will see and we will remember that he is setting us apart. He's making us kadosh. This is the sign of the covenant between him and his people Israel. You remember that I was telling you about the Greek word, the semeion, and we have few examples. Let's go to read those ones. This is in Matthew chapter 16. Verse 1 to 4. Matthew chapter 16, verse 1 to 4. It says the following, and the Pharisees and the Sadducees came, and trying YaHushua HaMashiach, asked that he should show them a sign from Shamayim. They were looking for a signs all the time, but they were unable to understand the signs of the time, as it is written here. Let's continue, verse 2. And he answered and said to them, when it is evening you say, fair weather, for the heaven is red. And in the morning, stormy weather today, for the heaven is red and overcast. You know how to discern the face of the heaven, but you are unable to discern the signs of the time. So they are able to discern from a climate point of view, but they are unable to understand the signs on the Shamayim, to understand the times. So the signs also to understand the times we lived. And not only the time, because they're just seeing it. It's not only to understand the times in terms of the days and the years, the calendar, because that's the purpose, but also to understand from a prophetic point of view. That is also having a direct connection with the calendar of YaHuWaH. This is so connected, it's so amazing. So let's continue in the verse 4. A wicked and adulterous generation seeks after a sign, and no sign shall be given to it except the sign of the prophet Yonah. And he left them and went away. YaHushua, he also operated through signs. And he said that the only sign to prove himself as the Mashiach was going to be the sign of the prophet Yonah. So everybody that was able to understand the sign of the prophet Yonah and was prepared to see that he was resurrected, that person was going to understand what he was saying about and to understand that he was really the Mashiach. Again, signs to see. Let's go to the last one, and this is in the book of Matthew 24:30. Same book, Matthew 24:7. In the verse 3, the disciples asking the master, say to us, when shall this be? And what is the sign, the otot, the semeyon, the otot of your coming and of the end of the age? So they understood that the signs were important. So let's go to the verse 30, and it says, and then the otot of the Ben Adam, of the son of Adam, shall appear in the Shamayim, in the heaven. And then all the tribes of the earth shall mourn, and they shall see the Ben Adam coming on the clouds of the Shamayim of the heaven with power and much steam. This is so important, you know. Science has the purpose for us and even for YaHuWaH to see. That's the purpose of the science. Let me look for something here in Tehillim, Psalms. It says in Tehillim 86, this is Psalms 86, verse 17. It's a beautiful prayer, and it says in the verse 17, show me a otot for good, show me a sign for good, and let those hating me see it and be ashamed. For you, YaHuWaH, have helped me and comforted me. A sign, as I was saying, has a purpose for us and even for YaHuWaH to see it and remember. So he has established the luminary system there in the sky, in the heaven, in the Shamayim, for us to see it and remember. In this case, remember how to measure the times. What are the years and the days? So it's true that I was sharing in a few days ago in one video. The calendar of YaHuWaH is based on a system of counting days, counting years, counting weeks. This is the way that YaHuWaH has instructed us. This is the way that we see here in his Devar. But also, this is going aligned with the signs of the luminary systems. So we need to observe the signs. What is written in the Word, in the Barim and in the Torah, that we don't need, we have to avoid follow the ways of the nations, that they were believing and bowing down to the host of the heavens, following an idolatrous way. And I have been sharing with you in the videos of the calendar how the current calendar system that we inherit from Babylon, from Rome, and from Greece are following the hosts of the heavens in the names of the days, in the names of the months, and so on. So observing the luminaries is something that YaHuWaH is instructing us, because those are the signs. But we need to understand that those are part of the creation, are not the creator. We need to understand that the wonderful work and the wonderful laws of the luminaries are being created by the only one, Elohim, YaHuWaH Sebaot. So I hope this is gonna be helpful for you. Again, pray to YaHuWaH. Let the Ruach HaKodesh guide you in YaHuWaH's truth. And for me, it's a pleasure to share his Devar. And I hope that you enjoy this video and share it with others. It's important that we share the light of YaHuWaH in this world, that every day is becoming more and more dark, and we need to shine with the light of YaHuWaH. Thank you for watching this video. Again, stay tuned. I will be sharing the results of the sundial. So if you are doing the same, share with others, put some comments. I will try to answer some of the comments, but if not, more people are reading it. So it's going to be helpful for everybody to understand your experiences and also to share in case you are doing some measurements on the sundial. So YaHuWaH be with you all. See you in the next video. Shalom.